back. When it's time to use them, you can just go grab them. I'll show you them back there. So we have two types. We have just a normal drill, and we have an impact driver. All the driver drill bits are right here. Where it says driver drill bits, right underneath where the drills are. Okay. If your battery dies, there are charging stations over here. You can plug in the battery to make a charge in the drill and charge. So again, we have a driver, which has a little collet on it, and then a drill. Okay, so when using the drill, there's a little button right here that tells which direction it spins. So when the thumb is pushed in here, that's actually going to be to loosen. So if you want to take out a screw, something like that, this push should be pushed in. If you push down the wire on where your index finger is, then push the trigger, it'll go to the right. That's what's going to tighten it and make it work. And put in a screw, drill a hole, you want to make it going that way. So a lot of mistakes that I see people make is they have this one pushed down and they try to drill a hole and it doesn't really go anywhere because it's spinning the wrong direction. It's not actually hitting the sharp parts that will drill into the piece of wood. Okay, so I always like to find a drill bit. I always have it where it's too small to fit in. So this one won't fit in right there. So then I like to loosen it until it fits in. That avoids it being stuck on one of the sides. So before you always use it, I always check it, make sure it spins and it's not moving. Sometimes, occasionally, it can get stuck on the side of this. This one's a little bit too big. And it will just kind of spin around like an egg beater and not actually be there. So always check to make sure it spins and it's not wobbly before you try to use it. If that's the case and it is incorrect, then it might be just that the drill bit is damaged and we don't want to use that. So again, before I ever screw anything in, drilling holes, just a quick test, see that it works and is spinning straight, and then it should be good. Now there's different speeds that are on here, and it goes in, and there's one that has a little drill bit on it. Pretty much most of the time you're going to be using it to drill, so have it on the drill bit setting on 1 or 2, and that's going to make it go through. So there's a trigger, you have your reverse and forward, basically switch, and if it's sitting in the middle, it won't turn on and off. This is exactly the same way. Again, if you're trying to loosen something, it should be pushed down where your thumb is. If you're trying to tighten something, it should be pushed down where your index finger is. Obviously, if you're holding it in your right hand, it's going to be opposite if you're left-handed. So just look at it. Again, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. If it spins to the right, you're tightening it. If it spins to the left, you're loosening it. So the thing with this is I cannot put a drill bit in there. This just sits in there and it doesn't hold it at all. This is an impact driver. It is designed specifically for bits that have this on them. So you'll see sometimes there are drill bits that have this. This is a square bit to put in pocket hole screws, so we can use this for that. So in order for this to work, you can just push it in, check it, see it's spinning straight, and it's in there. Now, to try to take this off, if I pull it, it will not come out. You have to push off the collet, and then it comes out. So again, I'm going to show that to you nice right here. I have to push this away from me, and then it releases it out. But you can just push it in, and it won't work. Some of them you'll have to pull out to put it in as well, depending on the company and the brand. But for the most part, that's how you use this. So we have 2 types. Again, this is an impact driver, and then we have our drill. And that's what we use. You want to sit and watch? You can no touch, but just sit and watch, okay? You can see it on the screen. So, if I'm going to drill a hole through this piece of wood, just look right through here just to show an example, you never want to drill in with the table underneath it. You always want to have either a scrap wood piece underneath it or off the table. So, again, I'm going to just hold this piece where I want, push down, and then just push the trigger. So I have my hole drilled through. I did not go into the table. It didn't damage the table at all or anything like that. So that's what you need to have. Okay, and then if I'm going to use this to screw in, a lot of the mistakes that people make, especially when you're first starting out, is screwing too much. We want to screw this into here to where it holds, but we don't need it to be stripped where it comes out too far. So I'll show you an example. Again, if I just use this, I just go down to where it's flat on the bottom. I don't want it to keep. I don't want it to keep spinning. So there. Okay, you see it's held pretty good. Can't really get this apart. Alright, so just to wrap things up, again, we have two different types. We need to know how to put bits on, take them off. Again, where they go. We need to make sure that the right button is switched so we know we're going forward or backwards. And go from there. So once you are done, that's what you need to do every time. Put them away. Those go up there. I need to plug in the charger as well. All the bits in here. And you're done. Alright, so a couple things. When you are going to drill holes, so let's say I'm going to just drill a hole through here, you should always have a small block